Hello and welcome inside Powell River's Hap Parker Arena. I'm Justice Doucette. Game 4 of the Island Division semifinal series. The Kings getting on the board with a win here at home last night, 3-0. Goals from Devin Leduc, Michael Abgral, and Jack Long. Meanwhile, 41 saves from Derek Krall in net. Krall will go once again. He has 1-1 these playoffs. He wasn't the goaltender of record in Game 2 when the Kings came back to tie it, and Cowichan beat Thomas Wardle in overtime. Caps wearing the Road Reds will attack from right to left here in this first period, with Zach Borgiel in the goal to our right. The Kings in their home whites with green, yellow, and black trim, moving from left to right here in Game 4, and some pushing and shoving between Riley Moran and Cole Broadhurst just before the face-off. Broadhurst making his return to the Cowichan lineup after missing the first 3 games, and Cowichan wins the draw. Boucher towards the far side, Mike Giannakis up the boards. Broadhurst will tip it back into the Kings zone as Mike Giannakis stood up. Moran, Cote forechecking on Jack Long. Gauthier finishes the hit on him. Working his way up the near side boards, looking to cycle back down low. Gauthier off the boards, got tied up by Long. Cote now has it. Near side point, Boucher, Long shots up. Rebound, Gauthier in front. He put it just over top of the net. Broadhurst back towards the near point. Boucher again with a shot. That time it didn't get through. Broadhurst digs it free at the near top circle and then sends it in deep. Long in behind the goal, being forechecked by Gauthier, and Long spun away from him, but then Broadhurst finished the check on the Kings defenseman as it's flipped out towards center. Mike Giannakis chased back into his own net. Michael Abgral watching on him as Mike Giannakis now cuts it back to the middle, moves it for Primo Self. Self into the middle, looking for Mike Giannakis. It got poked away. Blazeman trying to turn it up. Ice Self all over him as it's dropped off now for Ian Kern. Up the near side for Schmunk. He got rid of it just in time, but then took a heavy check from a pinching Cullen Ferguson. Played back into the far corner of the Cowichan zone. Mike Giannakis onto it. Now near side corner for Ferguson. Ferguson takes a hit as he moves it up the wall, and Brooks tips it in deep to the Kings zone. Pennington going back, brings it around far side. It gets past everybody and back towards Austin Chorney in neutral ice. Chorney near side for Ferguson. Looks up the near boards for Brooks. Hands it off looking for McIntyre, taken away by Krogfoss. And now Pennington near side for Glazeman. Slaps it in deep as it rings around towards the far side. Jabbed out towards the line. It hit the backside of Self, and now Krogfoss has it back of the goal. Krogfoss spins far side, tried to center, and it's poked away from McKay. Far point, Pennington shoots, stopped by Borgiel. Far corner now, but all battles with Chorney. Poked up the wall, Krogfoss tied up by Self, and it's played into the middle. Here comes Brooks 2-on-2 with Krasa. Krasa, Brooks, now return feed for Krasa, and it's slapped in deep. Now near corner, Zach Brooks wheels his way up the boards, flips it into the middle, far point, Barrett. Long shot, sticked away easily by Krall. Far side, Lynn grabs the rebound, cycles it down low. Krasa, extra feed for Wilson. Wilson far top circle, works his way towards the point, then shoots. It was blocked by Pennington. Back of the goal, Krasa. Far side top circle, Wilson. Sharp angle, midsection, saved. And Krall will hang on with a little more than 2 minutes gone in the first period. Good start to the game for the Caps, working off the cycle. Kings had a good zone time shift in there as well. Cowichan with the lone 2 shots in the hockey game. It's Krasa out there with Wilson and Lynn to the far side of the Powell River zone. Rollison will take the draw for the Kings, and he wins it back. Poked in behind the goal for Ian Kern, who's got some room to skate. Lead feed near side. Brett Foe hands it off. Abgral shoots, and he put it just wide. Shot it through the legs of Nolan Barrett, and then Zach Borgiel was late to react to it. He didn't see it through a screen. Far side, Rollison, poke check. Krasa jabs it up the wall, and it's out to center where backing up it's PJ Garrett. Back into the Rollison, who splits a couple of checks, makes some nice moves. Here's Brett Rollison with room to skate. Into the Cowichan zone. Barrett does a good job of keeping him to the outside. Then they both go sliding into the corner boards. Near side, Wilson takes over. Across the ice, here's Brady Lynn one-on-one. Lynn moves in far side. He shoots, and a shoulder save by Krall. Lynn gathers the rebound in front, trying to backhand it towards the net, but Kern tied him up. Brett Foe in the far corner takes a hit from Howie as it's fired down the ice. Icing is waved off as Tyrell Boucher collects at the back of the Cowichan goal, and the Kings work through a change. Mike Giannakis flips it through the middle. It is going to be an icing call against the Capitals. Looked like Hewlett maybe could have made a play on it there, but he turned the other way, let it bounce by him, and it's coming back into the Cowichan zone with 16:43 remaining first period. Face off to the near side of the Cowichan zone. Lundy will face off against Schmunk as the Kings go to their top line here with Schmunk, Glazeman, and Porchetta filling in on the line where Devin Leduc was. Lundy waved out of the circle. It'll be Johnny Howie to come in and take it. And Howie wins the draw. Mike Giannakis got pulled down by Glazeman. He pulls the puck free and tried to bank it in. Borgiel fought it off. Glazeman centers. Schmunk fanned on the shot. Got it back. He shoots. And he fanned on it again, but Borgiel forced to make a blocker save as Cowichan flips it out to neutral ice. Far side, Glazeman trying to push, maybe 3-on-2. Glazeman curls. He shoots, and he ripped it well wide of the goal as it caroms off the boards and out to center for Jack Long. Long far side for Davis Pennington. Back through the middle for Ethan Schmunk with some room to skate. Schmunk near side, he moves and he shoots and he put that well wide. Now Schmunk gets it back in the near corner, takes a hit from Lundy. Glazeman there as well. Riley Moran drops it back for Schmunk, who spins it back in deep. Far side corner, Mike Giannakis chasing after it. Pokes it past a pinching Pennington, and Moran has it at center and steers it all the way back into his own zone as now Cowichan will change. Jack Long, who had the 3-0 Kings goal in last night's game, watches at the back of his net, now skates out in front of it. Feed through the middle was off a stick right on goal for Borgiel, who swings it behind his own net. Austin Chorney up the far boards, couldn't get it out. Far side, but all poke checked by Chorney, and Cole Broadhurst has it. Saucer pass near side, here's Gauthier. Gauthier towards the Kings line, flips it in deep as Chorney forechecks, and he finishes Finley into the wall. Long back, and then it takes a hard hit from Broadhurst. Now Badal takes another shot from Broadhurst as Long gets it back in the near side corner. Long looking through the middle. Moran will tip it in deep. He takes a hit from Ferguson. Physical start here to the game for Cowichan with a little bit less than 5 minutes played. Cruz Cote far side over center into the Kings zone. Steps into the far corner now. Hard hit on Long once again. Cote battling 1-on-3, trying to come away with it. Being tied up by Finley. Far point, Chorney opens up, he shoots, he put it wide, self a chance, and Kroll able to come over and make the save. Puck still loose, and now it's blown down with chaos on the near side of the goal. Low, hard shot there from Austin Chorney. Forced Kroll to make a save, and then a great opportunity for Primo Self on the near side. He had to try and one-time it on his backhand, and lunging back towards his right, Kroll made the save. He couldn't hold on to the rebound, but with all the skates and players on the ice in front of it, the official lost sight and blows it down. Good chance, though, for Cowichan with a little bit more than 5 minutes played here in the first period. All starting with a great battle down low from Cruz Cote, and then he works it back to the point for a shot. McIntyre wins the draw. Webster near side shoots it, bounces off a shin pad. Brooks trying to track it down in front. McIntyre's swinging shot was broken up, and Self just put it wide, but a hand pass is called against Cowichan with 14:45 left in the first, with a face-off coming out now to neutral ice. Game 4 of the Island Division semifinals. The home team's 3-0 so far in this series, and the home teams have had a lot of success in this playoffs. Of the 8 teams starting at home in the playoffs, they went a combined 15-1. The only team to lose was Wenatchee on home ice in Game 1. Kings steal it, work it back into the Cowichan zone. Rollison dumped in the near corner, but he hands it off for Abgral, trying to spin away from Chorney at the back of the goal, and the puck jumped up into the air and hit the netting in behind the Cowichan net. Face-off will stay in the Capitals zone. So Cowichan took Game 1 by a 6-3 score. They trailed 3-1 and scored the final 5 goals of the hockey game to come back and win. Then Cowichan led 6-3 late second period in Game 2. The Kings would come back to tie that before Cowichan would win in overtime on Brady Lynn's third of the series. And then last night, most recently, a 3-0 Kings win here. Caps win the D-zone draw. Barrett rings it around far side. Self knocks it down the backhand. Tried to steer it forward, and he almost found Brooks, but it was broken up by a nice stick play from Finley. Here's Dawson McKay back into the Cowichan zone, but a step ahead on the far side of the ice was Levi Glazeman as Schmunk and Brooks tie up in the near side corner. Official steps in. Nothing extracurricular going on between those two. Matt Krasa out there to take the face-off, and he'll do it against Ethan Schmunk, who scored twice in this series. Each guy's taking the face-off has 2 goals in the series, and they both scored in games 1 and 2. Schmunk had both of his come on the power play. Krasa, 1 on the power play, 1 at even strength. Fired out to center. Lynn couldn't handle the pass, and Finley dumps it back in. Boucher back of the goal for Cowichan. Far side, Mike Giannakis back through the middle. Wilson couldn't handle the pass. McKay then gave it right back to Wilson, who steps into the Kings zone. He moves in. He shoots in a catching glove save by Kroll. Wilson curled and dragged to try and change the angle on the shot. as he got it around the stick of the defenseman Jack Long, but Kroll snares it out of the air on the far side and makes his 5th save. Couple lineup changes in this one. Cowichan gets Cole Broadhurst back after he finished serving his 3-game suspension. Cage Newens, the AP, checks out. For the Kings, they lost both Devin Leduc and Ben Wozni in last night's game, so Dylan Hewlett checks in on the back end. And then it's the AP Ethan Reisterer in up front. Pennington steps into the Cowichan zone, takes a solid check from Boucher. As it's rung up the far side, Garrett keeps it in. Micro Giannakis battles with Krogfoss in the far corner. And now Krasa comes away with it. Krasa up the far side, lifts it towards Lynn, who shoots it in from neutral ice, but he put too much air under it, and it's out into the far side netting, bringing the draw back out to neutral ice with 13:25 remaining first period. Couple of series wrapped up last night. Trail swept Prince George 4 games to none. Salmon Arm swept Victoria 4 games to none, but lots of hockey in action tonight. 4 series underway. The only one still going that's taking a break tonight is Alberni Valley and Nanaimo, who will play game 4 tomorrow night. Caps win the draw in neutral ice. Austin Chorney will shoot it in. Crawl out of his net to play it. Poke check by Gauthier, but he moved the puck just in time as it's rung up the wall and onto the stick of Nick Porchetta. Here's Abgral, one-on-one, stops up, trying to find support. Here's Brett Rollis, and he shoots, and he just put it wide right along the ice. Had some room on the far side, but he just slipped it wide. Now Rollison back towards the point, being checked by Broadhurst, dumps it back in. There's a penalty coming up against the Capitals. It sure looked like Porchetta went down easy there, but the Kings will get the game's first power play as Porchetta has some words for Broadhurst. It'll be Cruz Cote going off. There was a little bit of contact there, but it sure looked like Porchetta dove on that one. But the Kings will get the game's first power play here a little more than 7 minutes in. So the Capitals go to work here on the Valley Carpet penalty kill for the first time of the night. Cowichan wins the draw, rings it around near side. Moran able to keep it in. Played back towards the far point by Glazeman, but nobody was home, and it forces Jack Long back into his own end. So Cote off for tripping. Kings get the game's first power play with 12 and change left in the first period. Long works his way out of his own zone on the near side, being watched by Lundy. Long steps back now into the Cowichan zone, works it around the back of the goal, trying to set up the power play. Watched by Micro Giannakis. The handoff is for Glazeman. Now he'll leave it for Schmunk. Up top far side, Rollison down the boards into the corner. Back of the goal for Glazeman. Fires it in front, looking for Schmunk, and he got knocked off the puck by Lundy just as the pass came, and Cowichan's able to clear. 12 minutes remain first period. Shot 6-2 Capitals. Kings working on the power play for another minute and 5 seconds. Up the near side boards, it's Jacob Badal. Steps into the Cowichan zone, works it towards the near half boards, stops up, slows things down. Now moves it near point for Davis Pennington. Pennington into the middle, near side up top for Badal. Badal spins and shoots it, stopped by Borgil, and it ends up in his midsection with 50 seconds remaining in the penalty against Cote, and the Capitals' first Valley Carpet 1 penalty kill of the evening. Game 5, of course, will be back in Duncan on Friday night. After the Kings won here last night, we'll be finding out whether a Game 6 will be necessary by the time the game ends tonight as Brady Lynn fires it all the way down the ice. Pennington takes the handoff from Kroll. Kings in the first 2 games in this series went 5 for 11 on the man advantage. Last night they go 0 for 7. Far side, Finley works it into the Cowichan zone, back of the net for McKay. Into the near side corner for Badal. 25 to go in the power play. Badal near side into the middle. Abgral back to Badal. Now Abgral again being watched by Ferguson. Back of the goal for McKay. Far side now for Finley. Midpoint Pennington. Near side Badal. One-timer. Great block by Ferguson. Ferguson tied up in the corner by McKay. Abgral digs it free. Far side looking for the one-timer was Finley. He fanned on it. Now jab back towards the goal. And it is blown down with 3 seconds to go in the Cowichan penalty. Borgil could never cover it, but the official lost sight of it on the far side of the ice. So 10:57 remains in the first period. Best look on that power play for the Kings was the one-timer on the near side for Badal, but Ferguson in the right spot gets down to one knee, gets a skate on it, and blocks it back into the near corner. It's Lundy and Gauthier with Microgiannakis and Boucher, and just 3 seconds remaining on the penalty, so the Kings will go back to their regular even strength lines here too for the far side face-off in the Cowichan zone. Krog possibly waved out. Foe will come in to take it. And it's won back by Foe, but Boucher jumps the lane and steals it. He'll work his way up the ice back into the Kings zone, trying to get wide on Garrett, who throws him into the wall on the far side. Jack Long now comes away with it. Long up the near side boards for Rowan Miller. 3-on-3. Here come the Kings. Near side, sharp angle shot, and it's sticked away by Borgiel. Now a spinning drive was off the skate of Microgiannakis as Foe let it go from the far side half boards, and Borgiel able to cover. Cowichan's done a good job here, 5-on-5. Just need to work on getting momentum back after being short-handed. Another defensive zone draw coming up. It's Rollison, Moran, and Porchetta, the unit for the Kings. Cote out there with Broadhurst and Gauthier, a big-bodied line here for Cowichan. And the Caps win the draw. Clark Webster up the near side boards for Gauthier. Works it over the red line, shoots it into the far corner of the Kings zone. Broadhurst sharp angle, fired it off the side of the goal. Collected in the back of the net by Brett Rollison. One of the better Kings in last night's game, although he came up without a point. Barrett will lift it in the air. It's out towards center. Tying up with Garrett is Broadhurst, but the Kings defenseman wins the battle. Far side, Porchetta over the line, takes the shoulder from Gauthier, then tried to cut towards the middle, but he lost the puck, and Clark Webster takes over near side. Towards the line for Glazeman. Takes a hit from Cote. Able to keep it on side as they battle just inside the Cowichan zone. Now Glazeman forced out to center and taking a rough ride from Cole Broadhurst as it's dumped back in by the Kings. Borgiel will stick it up and into the netting. And that'll do it for the first half of this first period as we'll step aside with 9:51 left here in the opening frame of the game, still scoreless. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on 89.7 Juice FM, presented by Discovery Honda. Welcome back to Powell River as the Kings work it through the offensive zone. Kern with a long shot blocked by Boucher. Flipped in towards the far corner for Dimitri Microgiannakis. He'll move it up the boards near side. Lynn across the ice looking for Wilson. Wilson centers. Krasas, the trailer just got poke checked at the last moment. Now Badal collects it in the near side for the Kings. Up the boards for Schmunk. Schmunk over center, sends it in as he takes a hit from Wilson. Back of the goal, it's Microgiannakis. Up the boards, Lynn chips it towards the line. It just gets past Pennington, who makes a great play to dive and keep it from being a Cowichan numbers chance, but the Kings had to tag up on the offside. Near side, it's Boucher. Drops it back in the middle for Microgiannakis. Far side lost the handle on it momentarily, then fanned on his chip towards center. Moves it towards the far side, looking for Krasa. Tying up with McKay. It's worked back to center. And then Microgiannakis' dump in was knocked down by Krogfoss. Here come the Kings the other way. They're offside on the dump in. So Microgiannakis looks through the middle. Lynn tipped it out to center. And now Garrett takes back over. Missed opportunity for a breakout there from the Caps. Other way, Foe tied up by Wilson and batted down the ice. This one is not going to have enough for icing as Garrett goes back with 8.5 minutes left in the first period. The game still scoreless. Up the near side, Long works it towards the blue line, chips it in the middle. Here comes McKay. 1-on-2, he chips it past Ferguson and then takes a hit from McIntyre. Colin Ferguson up the far side boards. towards center. Self across the ice for Brooks. He'll leave it behind for McIntyre. Kings thought it was offside. Play continues. Into the near corner, Rollison ties up by McIntyre, and Rollison comes away with the puck. Far side, trying to work it away from Brooks, takes a stick and then steps past the hit from Self as well. Brett Rollison's having himself a good start to this game after a really solid performance in last night's game as well. Moran near side, Rollison in the middle, trying to work it to the goal was Abgral, and Chorney wrapped him up and then threw him into the boards. Zach Brook takes his time, far side for Ferguson, working his way through center ice. Spins around Finley, works it into the Kings zone, then takes a hit in the far corner as he pulls it in deep. Brooks, near side point, Broadhurst opens, he shoots, it was tipped wide in front by Cote. Now Cote hooked up and pulled from behind, and it's going to be a penalty against Davis Pennington, so Cowichan will get a chance on the power play. Pennington put his arms up in the air at his sides like he didn't do anything, but both officials had their arms up in the air, both the one in the Kings zone and the one at neutral ice. So Cowichan will get their first chance of the power play here with 7:34 remaining in the first, and Davis Pennington taking a seat for 2 minutes or less. It'll be a far side draw in the Kings zone. Gauthier and Micro Giannakis on the point with Self, Krasa, and Wilson up front. Off the face-off, it is Cowichan that controls it. Played down into the far corner for Self. Pressured by Garrett, he got tied up. Krasa chops it for Wilson. Wilson rings it towards the near side half boards for Olivier Gauthier. Gauthier takes a hit, spins off the contact from Krogfoss. Back of the goal, Wilson. Wilson surveying, looking for somebody to move it to. Near side up top, it is Gauthier. Gauthier across the ice, broken up, and then Krasa almost shot it in right after he took it off the stick from Rowan Miller. And then it's played off a skate by Self and out to center. Micro Giannakis with 1:30 remaining in the power play. 7 minutes to go here first period. Drops it off for Krasa, works his way into the Kings zone. Steps around a check far side. Krasa trying to cut towards the middle. Had the puck bounce off of his stick, and it dribbled in slowly right on goal for Derek Kroll, who covers up after Krasa tried to drop it back, and he got tied up at the exact same time, and it just dribbled right towards the net. 6:49 remains first period, 1:16 to go in the penalty against Pennington, with the team still looking for the game's first goal. Game 4 of the Island Division semifinals. Far side face-off in the Kings zone, one back by the Caps, but it split the two defensemen in McIntyre and Boucher, so it's out to center. Brooks turns on the Jets, drops it off far side for Lynn. Midpoint, Boucher, he shoots and it hits something and went wide. Far side collected by Finley, and he will have all the time in the world to flip it all the way down the ice. Halfway through this first Cowichan power play, getting towards the final 6 minutes of this first period. Boucher taking his time out of his own zone up the near side boards. McIntyre in the middle for Cote, tied up by Long, who kicks it back now for McIntyre. McIntyre steps into the Kings zone, far side, Lynn in the middle. Here's Boucher across the ice. Brooks one-timer, and it's stopped by Kroll. McIntyre back towards the near point for Boucher into the middle. 30 seconds to go in the power play. McIntyre lets it go. Good block from Long. McIntyre steers it into the near corner again for Cote. Half boards McIntyre. Across the ice, far point for Lynn. It just bounced off his stick. Now he flips it down low into the far corner. Cote return feed for Lynn. Midpoint Boucher. Now near side up top for McIntyre. In the middle, Brooks shoots off a stick. PJ Garrett getting his stick in the lane as Brooks couldn't one-time it, and he deflects it up and out of play. Good movement there by the Caps on the power play, which now just has 10 seconds to go in it and 5:43 to go in the first period. Couple of good looks there, but a good block by Jack Long on that attempt from Dan McIntyre. The look across the ice to the far point for Brady Lynn just bounced off his stick, and then Brooks just couldn't one-time that puck. He had to sort of corral it, then shoot it. Barrett keeps it at the line. He lets it go, and it's a midsection save by Kroll. The Kings won that draw cleanly, and a hard shot right along the ice was right onto the tape of Barrett, who just opened up and let it go. 6 seconds remain now in the penalty against Pennington. Shots 8 apiece, score 0-0. Krasa goes forward on the draw, swung it in front, but he had nobody at the back door. Self digs it free, pokes it back to neutral ice because Webster had backed up. Now he fed it towards the far side, and Barrett was being forechecked on by Pennington as we're back to 5-on-5. Schmunk pokes it back into the Cowichan zone. Caps almost got burned there as Pennington came out of the box at the perfect time on that D-to-D pass from Webster to Barrett. Clark Webster up the near side, knocked down by Wilson, swings it into the middle for Self. trying to split defenders, got edged off by both Kern and Finley. Centering pass broken up by McKay. Up the near side boards here. Schmunk could be a 3-on-2. Schmunk with Glazeman and McKay. He shoots and it's off a stick and well over top of the net. It goes into the netting and out of play. So the faceoff will remain inside the Capitals zone with 4:58 remaining in the opening frame. Pretty back and forth period so far. Both teams with a power play. Both teams had some chances on said power play. And now an offensive zone draw for the Kings with Abgral, Rolison, and Reisterer, the AP from St. George's, out for the offensive zone draw. Cowichan has Lundy out there with Brooks and Lynn. Micro Giannakis tied up in the far corner by Abgral. Lundy rings it around near side for Brooks. Steps in and then just banks it off the boards towards center ice. Long dumps it back in, but Brooks knocked that out of midair. Tyrell Boucher skates it up the near side towards center. He finds the red line and shoots it in across towards the far side. Lynn forechecking on Pennington. Cowichan digs it free. Lundy trying to work it in front, but it ended up right on the stick of Pennington. And now here come the Kings. Could be numbers 3-on-2. Reisterer steers it into the near side corner as Brooks was able to get back. Micro Giannakis up the near side. It bounces out to center. Backpedaling is PJ Garrett. 4:15 remains first period as Pennington slows things down in his own zone, and both teams will make line changes. Pennington now towards center, sidesteps a couple of checks, then takes a huge one from Cote, and there's a penalty against Cowichan coming up. We'll see what the call is here. Cote gonna go off. Both arms went up, and I have no idea what for. The whole Capitals bench blew up. Davis Pennington, with his head down skating through the middle, gets absolutely drilled by Cote. He made a move, and Cote finished the check. Pennington is crouching down with his head right over top of his skates. I don't know what call you could possibly make here. But the Kings are going to go to the power play with 4:01 left in the first period. Cote getting the explanation. He's heading back towards the dressing room. Let's see what goes up on the clock here. So the Kings are going to go to the man advantage on possibly one of the cleanest hits I've ever seen. And we'll see what's against Cruz Cote here with still nothing up on the board. Pennington skating through the middle, bent down forward, put his head over his knees, took a huge hit from Cote, and now the Kings are going to go to the power play. Still nothing on the clock. It's a 2-minute penalty against Wilson now, so we'll see what the call is here because they send Cote back to the locker room. So the Capitals to the Valley Carpet 1 penalty kill. Long shot blocked by McIntyre. So it's 2 minutes for checking to the head and a 10-minute misconduct, so they just send him back to the dressing room because it's near towards the end of the period, I guess, but still one of the most horrendous calls I've ever seen in my time working in this league. Far side, Rolison in the corner. Back to the far point for Long. Near side point for Moran. Mid point for Long. He opens, he shoots, and he put it wide. Bouncing puck to the side, collected by Ferguson. His ring around gets past Moran and all the way down the ice. 1:25 remains in this Powell River power play. 3:25 remains first period. Over the line, Rolison watched by Lynn. Opens up, moves it back towards the point for Long. Mid point for Moran. In the middle for Schmunk. Far side point for Long. Opens up, doesn't shoot. Moran from the near side, stopped. Rebounds loose in front. It's in skates. Glazeman couldn't find it. Lundy bats it in the air. It gets to the line, but Long keeps it in as it pops straight up into the air. Now near side, Boucher trying to clear. He couldn't get it out. Long opens, shoots, and it's blocked by Lundy and out to neutral ice. Lundy trying to get to it ahead of Long, who chopped it away from him. Now Rolison looking to get away from Lundy as Long picks it up back in his own zone. 45 seconds left in the Powell River power play, but more importantly, Cowichan will be without Cruz Cote for 10 minutes with a misconduct attached to that blow to the head penalty. Michael Abgral over the Cowichan blue line into the far corner. McKay into the near side corner for Badal. Badal near side along the half boards. Slides it back of the goal. It hit the official's skate, and he moves it now to McKay. Far side half boards, Finley. Looking into the middle, Abgrall, return feed for Finley. Midpoint, Pennington. Near side, but all one-timer, and he fanned on it. Ends up along the far half boards for Finley. In the middle, Abgrall can't find a shooting lane. Far side for Finley. Spins off a check, Abgrall in the middle, got poke check. Finley in the corner, back of the goal, McKay, and centering pass in front, they score! Abgrall! And just as one of the worst penalty calls I've seen in 3 years ends, the Kings score on the power play and make it 1-0. An absolutely disgusting, horrific, terrible call on the cleanest hit you can make. Gives the Kings the power play and a 1-0 lead. Michael Abgrall with his second goal of the series comes at 17:59, and the Caps are owed one for sure here now after that call. Chorney retreats far side, will send it down the ice, and this will be an icing call against Cowichan, in fact, a 5-on-5 after that power play goal. It's physically impossible to lay a cleaner check than the one that Cruz Cote did just moments ago, but he has 12 minutes of penalties to show for it, and the Kings have a power play goal to take a 1-0 lead. Face off back to the near side in the Cowichan zone. Krogfoss against Lynn after Krasa was waved out. On the tie-up on the face-off, it's stuck in the two centermen's skates and played back to the near point. Schmunk keeps it in. Back of the goal now for Krogfoss. Tied up by Chorney, wrestled into the near side boards. Schmunk back of the goal, takes a hit from Lynn. Now into the far corner, Lynn still all over Schmunk. Physical play down low. Schmunk bats it down low. It's centered in front for Krogfoss, who takes a hit from Chorney. Now Miller spins and fired it back to the point. It's broken up by Krasa, who tips it out to center. Near side long. Forward for Schmunk, who taps it for Rowan Miller 1-on-2. Miller trying to split defenders, takes a hit from Lynn, and it bounces right in on goal for Borgil, who will cover up with 1 minute and 14 seconds left in the first period. So Powell River 1 for 2 on the power play. The goal reads Abgrall from McKay and Finley at 17:59 of this first period. And Cowichan will be without Cruz Cote for about half of the second period as well to boot. Near side corner, Mike Giannakis spins off a check. Rollison works it way back onto his stick in the near side corner, trying to go around the back of the goal. Rollison towards the far side, cycles it down low for Pennington. Abgrall back of the goal, lost his footing, but play continues. John Lundy works his way up the ice into the final minute of this first period. Lundy drops it for Broadhurst, who sends it back in deep. Lundy back of the goal, wrapped up by Pennington. Gauthier collects in the near side corner. Back to the point, Boucher across the ice, Mike Giannakis. Long shot wide of the goal on purpose, bounces back in front. Loose puck in front of the goal, and everyone tied up as the Kings work it out to center for Abgrall to chip it in deep. Abgrall going after it with Boucher. Mike Giannakis watches on from the side as well. Miller trying to pull it free with 25 seconds to go in the first. Boucher rings it around the near side boards. Long keeps it in. His shot bounces up into the air, and then Lundy finds it. Far side now for Mike Giannakis, 1-on-3. Steps into the Kings zone, side steps one check, and then blows up Long, who tried to stand him up in the far corner as his shot gets deflected up and out of play with 10.6 seconds remaining in the first period. Brooks having some words on the far side with Dylan Finley. It'll be a far side draw in the Kings zone with the final 10 seconds to be played here in the first period. Shots are 11-8 in favor of Powell River, and a power play goal from Michael Abgrall. It's McIntyre to take the face off on the far side of the ice against Krogfoss. Krogfoss waved out of the circle. Glazeman will step in now. McIntyre wins it back. Self walking down the far side boards, trying to center it in front. Finley broke it up. Now they battle far side as Self pins Finley. Brooks pulls it out of the pile, trying to walk towards the middle, got tied up. And that'll do it for the first period. A power play goal from Abgrall is the only goal in that first period, as Glazeman gave Brooks a shot after the whistle. And then the officials get into the middle of that, but To be saying that Cowichan is owed one by the officials here would be the understatement of the century, after Cruz Cote lays a huge check in the middle of the ice against Pennington, who gets caught with his head down, skating right through the middle. The biggest no-no you can have, skating through the middle, gets absolutely blown up, and Cote given checking to the head and a 10-minute misconduct. And the reason that the hit was to the head is because Pennington's head was at the height of his knees when he took that check, and the Kings take advantage on the power play, and we'll have a 1-0 lead going to the second period, where we will start the second at 5-on-5. Abgrall with the power play goal, and that's our only goal of the first period. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on 89.7 Juice FM, presented by Discovery Honda. Welcome back inside Powell River's Hap Parker Arena. I'm Justice Doucette. The Capitals trailing the Powell River Kings by a 1-0 score through one period of play. Michael Abgrall with his second goal of the series after scoring Powell River's second goal in last night's game. The lone goal in that opening 20 minutes. Shots 11-8 in favor of the Kings in that first period. They don't technically count it as a power play goal, as it came the second that Cote was supposed to step out of the box, but on what you would call a modern hockey call, Cote in the box for 10 minutes with the misconduct attached to that hit to the head on a brutal whistle against Cowichan, with Davis Pennington skating through the middle with his head down. 2 minutes for hitting too hard, and a 10-minute misconduct has the Kings with Cowichan's top center in the penalty box. Gauthier looking to dump it in, cut off by Jack Long. Dumped in from center into the far corner. Boucher, the first one onto it. Plays it off the glass towards the line. Long knocks it down and keeps it alive. Schmunk spinning, plays it in deep now for Levi Glazeman. Glazeman far side, spins off a check. Works it up top towards the point. Now spins and shoots up. Rebound chance, and Borgil kicked it away with Long right on the doorstep. Up the far boards, John Lundy sidesteps a couple of checks. Then he takes a solid hit from Long as Mike Giannakis shoots it wide right along the ice. Lundy plays it back in deep as Cowichan works through a change. Dylan Finley has it in behind the Kings net, far side for Long. Snaps it through the middle for Glazeman, goes off his skate, and he works it back into the Cowichan zone on the far side. Glazeman stops up, sharp angle he shoots, and it's fought off by Borgil. Dan McIntyre near side, plays it up the boards where it's knocked down by Pennington. Now Moran forward for Glazeman, trying to steer it back into the Cowichan zone. He's able to do that and starts a line change for his team. Ferguson drops it back for Chorney, retreating in behind his own net with a minute gone in the second period. Ferguson up the far side. Brooks tips it up in the air. Kern knocks it down. Brooks got it back, and then his chip pass lands on the stick of Abgrall to fire it back into the Cowichan zone. Borgil out of the net to play it. Far side Ferguson put it off the shin pads of the official, and then Ferguson works it back towards the near side. Spins away again from Abgrall, rings it around up the far boards, but Brooks was at center, and Kern will shoot it back in from neutral ice. Kings causing Cowichan problems here on the forecheck. Ferguson looking up the far side boards. Brooks able to tip it back into the Kings zone and chase it down on the forecheck. Pennington back to it first, in behind his own net, works it into the near corner. Sidesteps a hit from Brooks. Krasa fresh off the bench, tied up, and it's steered out to center by Powell River. Barrett to the far side for Webster. With 2 minutes gone here in the middle period, it's dumped back in by Cowichan. Pennington takes a hit at the back of the goal. Krasa chops it away from a defender, but it landed right on the winger's stick, and it's worked towards neutral ice. Webster made a hit, separated the man from the puck. Near side Wilson works it into the zone. Wilson stops up. Near side point, he shoots. It's blocked by Pennington, and it forces him back out to neutral ice. Barrett far side now for Webster. Swings it up the far boards for Matt Krasa. Across the ice near side for Wilson. Skate to stick, shoots it in. Rung around towards the far side for Lynn. Continues it on back to the point. Webster with a shot. Bounces in front of the goal. And Wilson got knocked off the puck by Pennington. Pennington up the far side glass, lifting it towards neutral ice for Foe. Steps around the hit from Barrett, pokes it near side. Krogfoss moves in, he shoots a save. Rebound loose, and Foe put it over top of the net. Right in front of the goal, just tried to chip it, and he put it over top of everything. Now Long opens and fires, and he pumped it wide. Near side, Garrett keeps it alive for the Kings, rings it towards the far side. It got caught up on the dasher, and Wilson then lost it in his skates. Far side, McKay steers it towards Krogfoss, steps towards the goal. He got tied up by Krasa. Now Krasa and Krogfoss battle the near corner. Both of them fall on top of each other. Fans wanted to call, none coming. Barrett works his way towards center, cutting back towards the middle, and he put his line mates offside as he cut back towards the near side with both Lynn and Wilson at the blue line. So neutral zone face-off coming up here. 16:43 remains second period. Kings with a good chance there, and a great opportunity for Brett Foe after he dove to poke it to Krogfoss on that 2-on-1. And then Foe able to get back on his feet, join into play as the trailer, and he almost was able to chip in that rebound chance from right on the doorstep. Far side face-off in neutral ice. Kings win the draw. Pennington moves it towards center where it hits off the backside of the skates of Porchetta, and it's driven on goal from center by Schmunk to be blockered away by Borgil. Boucher fires it up the near side for Brady Lynn. Lynn over the Kings line on the near side, dumps it in. First to it is Hewlett. He's driven hard into the wall by Howie, but he makes the play and moves it up the ice. Pennington near side, cutting towards the middle, steps over the Cowichan line, moves in, he shoots, and it's fought off by Borgil and went off the tip of his glove and just wide of the net. Near side, John Lundy cutting back towards the middle. Sidesteps a pair of Kings checks and now wheels it up the far side boards to get past Ethan Schmunk. Lundy moves in, slides it into the middle for Lynn, and he got tied up by Finley. Now Finley near side looking to spin away from Lundy at the back of the goal. Takes a hit but moves it towards Jack Long. Far side, the 20-year-old Kings captain steps in over the Cowichan line. Long opens up, he shoots, it's off a stick and fought off by Borgil and then put back into the Cowichan netminder by Lundy to cover up and hang on with 4:15 gone in the second period. Cowichan yet to record a shot on goal here in the second. The Kings with the only 4 of the period. As Cruz's Cote stands in the penalty box and watches on, serving the 10-minute misconduct portion of his brutal hit to the head call in the first period. One that when guys turn 16 years old, you teach them, hey, if a guy's got his head down in the middle of the ice, here's how you finish the check. Nothing was high. It was all right on the chest, and he still gets called for it. Near side, here's Chorney down the wing, all the way to the goal, the backhand, stopped by Kroll, rebound, they score! Austin Chorney, highlight reel stuff, and the game is tied at 1. What a move by Chorney. Turns on the afterburners, gets Dylan Finley caught with cement boots on the near side. His original backhand chance is stopped, and Chorney cleans up the garbage right in front of the goal. What a finish from Austin Chorney, his second of the playoffs, and the Capitals tie the game at 1. Chorney scored the late first period goal in game 2, and that's another big one for the Capitals, number 2, with his second of the playoffs, tying the game at 4:27. We'll pick up the assist momentarily, but Cowichan has tied the game on their first shot of the period. Played towards the point, Barrett shot, hit Self up high, and then his backhand went wide. So Chorney unassisted, announced here in Arena with his second goal of the playoffs at 4:27. McIntyre trying to get free at the back of the goal, near side point for Barrett. Walking into the middle, curls, drags. Now he lets it go, and Badal did a great job of getting in front of it and blocking that. Webster splits a couple of checks, moves it to Barrett, who takes back off into the zone. He's poke checked by Garrett. And Webster retreats into his own zone to pick up the puck. So Chorney at 4:27, his second of the playoffs unassisted, has tied the game at 1. Beautiful drive down the near side boards, and his original backhand chance was stopped, but he cleans up the rebound right in front of the net. Here comes Glazeman. Drop pass far side. Moran, he moves in. He shoots. Stopped by Borgil. Rebound back towards the near point. Pennington had to wait as Kern was getting off the ice, or else it could have been too many men. And so it forced him out to center. Schmunk will dump it in behind the Cowichan net. Barrett back to it first. Brings it back around the near side. Cowichan looking to clear. It's up towards the near side. McIntyre played it back into his own zone, and therefore it wasn't offside, and Moran shoots it in deep. Borgiel plays it towards the near side. First onto it is Glazeman. Good bounce back shift here for the Kings. Poke down low. Schmunk battles with McIntyre. Back towards the near point. Finley shoots. Pad save. Rebound chance in front. Played in front of the goal. Loose puck. Borgiel down. Side of the goal. Schmunk trying to jam it in, and it's fought off by Borgiel, who's since lost his stick. Cowichan could probably have taken 2 or 3 penalties on this shift. Here's Rollison trying to center. It's off a stick and wide. Now Rollison far side. Cowichan needs a change, and they need one badly. Near side, it's Finley. Down the boards near side. Rollison takes a hit from Barrett. Near side along the boards for Miller. Opens and shoots. He gets it back. Steers it in front for Rollison. Blocker saved by Borgiel. Kings are absolutely flying right now. Tyler Kuntz hollering about something on the Powell River bench. Now McIntyre has lost his helmet. He has to go off the ice, and now he's taking a penalty. And the Kings will go to the man advantage as McIntyre made a play on a body without his helmet, and the Kings will go to the man advantage. That's what the bench was hollering about. I couldn't see it down low in front of us. McIntyre had lost his helmet, and the Kings bench was wondering why he hadn't got a penalty for going off the ice. So the Kings, with that good bounce back shift, couldn't get a goal, but they will get a power play out of it as they get Cowichan hemmed into their own zone, and now go to the man advantage after McIntyre lost his helmet, then made contact with a player on the ice. The rule is as soon as you lose your helmet, you have to get off the ice. And he did not do that, so the Kings go back to the power play, and the Capitals go to the Valley Carpet 1 penalty kill. Face off on the near side of the Cowichan zone. Kings, even though they just gave up the tying goal, have all the momentum in the world right now after that great shift. Micro Giannakis shoots it off the netting, and so play will stop. But Cowichan, if they wanted to, even though they don't probably, with just 6 seconds gone on the penalty, it could have been able to change as it hit glass first. Draws one by the Warriors, but it split both Moran and Long and forces them back into their own zone. 7 minutes gone here in the second period. Cowichan has tied the game, but the Kings right now on the power play after lots of pressure on the shift after the Cowichan goal. Far side, it's Ethan Schmunk into the Cowichan end of the ice. Spin to the far side, half boards, near side up top, it's Levi Glazeman. In the middle, Long with a shot blocked by Lundy. He pushes it forward, trying to get away, short-handed. Lundy moves in, he shoots, and a toe saved by Krall. As Lundy could feel the back pressure, just let go of it as soon as he got to the puck. And Krall made the left skate save. Cowichan going with 3 defensemen on this penalty kill. Johnny Howie playing with Brady Lynn up front as Long drops it off for Brett Rollison. Across the ice, far side for Ethan Schmunk. Dumps it into the far corner. Rollison being tied up by Boucher. Now Glazeman pulls it out of the far corner. He's got a man open in front, and Schmunk, he moves it back to the near point for Moran. Moran near side, half boards Rollison. Plays it in front. It went off the skates of Glazeman, and then he lost his footing after Micro Giannakis tied him up. Near side, Long, far side up top, Moran. Long, one-timer hits somebody in front. I believe it was Micro Giannakis, but Cowichan's able to clear with now 35 seconds remaining in this Powell River power play. Pennington in behind his own net. Up the near side for Finley. Poke check by Gauthier at the Cowichan blue line. Now Lundy steals it and works it back into the Kings zone again. Sidesteps a hit from Pennington and just steers it in behind the Kings goal. 15 seconds remain in the penalty against the Capitals and against Dan McIntyre. Pennington up the near side for Finley, works it into the Cowichan zone. Finley, side of the goal, McKay. Far side corner now, Badal. Walking down the far boards, cuts to the middle, he shoots it, stopped by Borgiel. Webster on the far side, plays it up the boards for Gauthier. Here comes Cowichan 3-on-3. Gauthier drops it, McIntyre moves in, he shoots, and a toe save by Krall. Ferguson to it at the near side, half boards, works it in behind the net. Centers for Lundy, trying to steer towards the goal. Loose puck is fired all the way down the ice by the Kings. This will be an icing call as Webster goes back with 10:52 remaining in the second. Good couple of opportunities for John Lundy there while shorthanded, and Cowichan's able to kill it off as both now Cruz, Cote, and Dan McIntyre step out of the Cowichan penalty box. Krasa, Wilson, and Lynn, the unit for the Caps up front. Abgral out there to take the face-off for the Kings. Back to the point, Mike Gianakis shoots, and a good stick save there by Crawl through traffic. Back of the goal, Wilson couldn't handle it. Pennington into the far corner, takes a hard hit from Brady Lynn. McKay couldn't clear. Wilson with room, he opens up and fires. It was off the stick of Pennington, who recovered to make a good play. Wilson took a stick up high, but play is going to continue as it's moved out towards center ice. Here's Badal, could be numbers for the Kings the other way. Steps into the Cowichan zone, now drops it off, turned over. Here's Krasa, 2-on-1 with Wilson. Krasa moves in near side, stops up, he shoots a stick save by Crawl. Rebound covered up by the Kings netminder. Crawl made a good save after Krasa had patience to stop up, let the defenseman and PJ Garrett slide right past him, and then opened up and shot, but Crawl made the good save, and more importantly, was able to control the rebound, keep it right in front of him, and then cover up. Nearing the midway point of this second period in a 1-1 game. McIntyre, Self, and Brooks, the unit for Cowichan. Kings win the defensive zone draw. Garrett off the glass will shoot it out to center. Barrett knocked it down, couldn't control it, but then he, just at the last second, poked it away from Brett Foe, who looked like he might have some room to skate. Far side, tipped back in by Cowichan, in behind the Kings goal. Krogfoss, the first one onto it, works his way up the far side, gets poke checked by McIntyre. Nobody can find the puck, and now Krogfoss with another opportunity, sends it to the line, but not out. Webster keeps it in deep, back of the goal, it's Brooks. Trying to work free towards the near bottom circle, he's checked by Garrett, and now it's Brett Foe again. Foe into the far corner for Long. Forechecked by Self as he lifts it out to center ice, onto the stick of Rowan Miller. Near side Foe picked Barrett's pocket, and he almost worked his way in on the near side. A couple of former teammates in Prince George there in Brett Foe and Nolan Barrett. Up the near side boards now, it is Primo Self. Self pass into the skates of Broadhurst, who couldn't corral it. It's rather Cote, as now Cote shoots it back in near side. Cowichan will have to tag up as they were working through a change when it was dumped in. Davis Pennington with 9 and change to go here in the second period. Fires it back into the Cowichan zone, but gets it right back off the stick of Barrett. Far side Kern, near side Porchetta. Steps over the Cowichan line, opens up, he shoots, and it's right into the midsection of Borgil, who will cover up, hang on, and will step aside with 9 minutes to go here in the second. Game tied at 1. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on 89.7 Juice FM, presented by Discovery Honda. Exactly 9 minutes remaining here in the second period in Powell River. Game tied at 1. It was Michael Abgral in the first period for the Kings. Austin Chorney with his second of the playoffs here in the second period for Cowichan. Both Abgral and Chorney with their second. Face off the near corner of the Cowichan zone. Cote wins it back on the ice after serving that 10-minute misconduct attached to the hit to the head penalty. Porchetta swings it back towards neutral ice. Now near side, Schmunk trying to step in. Glazeman shot off the stick of Mike Gianakis and into the far corner. Porchetta in front for Schmunk, and he fanned on the pass, and it was allowed Boucher to break it up. Now Olivier Gauthier chips it back into the Kings zone. Far side engages with Jack Long. Wang in there as well. Gauthier, now Wang rings it back towards the point. Opening up and shooting is Boucher, and it hit a stick and bounced wide. Near side, it's played out towards center by the Kings, and Glazeman will tap it in. Back of the goal, it's Tyrell Boucher into the near corner for Mike Gianakis. Looks back through the middle. Here's Johnny Howie, stops up just shy of center, put the pass in the skates of Cote. Wang finds it, trying to sidestep a check, dropped it off to Cote, who shoots it in deep. Howie in the far corner, rings it back towards the near side. Off the bench comes John Lundy, trying to force a turnover. Garrett lost his footing. Rollison taps it into the far corner for Hewlett. Hewlett up the far side boards for Riley Moran. Flipping it forward, here's Abgral skating in. He's got Rollison going to the net, but Chorney wins the race and gets to it first. Chorney fighting off sticks as it's tapped towards the near corner. Rollison engages with Lundy, and both of them go down in a heap. Now Ferguson up the far side boards for Johnny Howie. Howie flips it forward. It's out of the reach of Brooks, and this is going to be an icing call against the Capitals at a time where they could have used a change, and the faceoff's coming back into their own zone. 7:30 remaining second period. Face off to the far side of the Cowichan zone after the icing call. Cole Broadhurst over to the penalty box to pick up his stick that he had lost on the shift prior and had been placed in there. It's Lundy against Krogfoss on the face-off as the Kings go with Krogfoss, Badal, and McKay after the Capitals icing, but Cowichan wins the draw. Howie far side couldn't get it in deep. Lundy will one-hand it back to Ferguson at the Cowichan blue line. Ferguson backs up, fires it across the ice near side for Brooks, and he couldn't get a stick on it, and once again, this will be an icing call against Cowichan, who had the chance a couple of times there to get the puck in deep, but forced to pass, and now it's another icing against Cowichan. Another far side face-off. This time it's Glazeman, Miller, and Schmunk out there for the Kings, and they win the draw clean. Glazeman in the middle had his first shot blocked. Another opportunity fought off by Borgiel. Long now shoots. That hit a stick and ended up in the near side corner. First onto it is Ethan Schmunk. He takes a hit from Austin Chorney. Cowichan plays it out towards center ice. Howie just shy of center, fanned on his dump in again. Cowichan really needs a change here, and Long's going to push it. Here's Jack Long, cuts towards the middle, he shoots, it's partially blocked and ends up in behind the net. Glazeman trying to center, it ends towards the near side half boards. Ferguson tying up, got it to the point but not out. Finley sends it back in deep. Cowichan's defensemen and Austin Chorney and Cullen Ferguson are gassed. Here's Miller back of the goal towards the near side. Opens up, cycles it back down low. Ferguson with Rollison. Glazeman has it for the Kings, works it out far side, centers it off a stick towards the point. Pennington keeps it alive. It's all Kings right now. Krasa far side will bank it out towards center, but he only got it towards center. Here come the Kings 3-on-2. Glazeman trying to curl and drag, it's broken up. Rollison bats it towards the goal. It's stopped by Borgiel, and then it got lifted back in front. And Cowichan's getting a penalty here as Austin Chorney went crashing into the net and knocked it off. Cowichan had 3 or 4 opportunities to get pucks in deep. They were unable to, and it cost them a penalty and a brutal bunch of turnovers. And the Kings will go back to the man advantage here with all the momentum in this hockey game after costly mistakes from Cowichan. Face off to the near side of the Cowichan zone. Caps win the draw, but it got caught in the skates of Boucher. Here's a chance. Badal, he shoots, stop, rebound, pucks loose to the side. Collected by Gauthier and fired off the glass and all the way down the ice. Cowichan won that draw clean, but it got caught in the skates of Boucher, who couldn't find it, and then the Kings dug it free. Pennington to the near side. It's the 4th power play of the hockey game for the Kings as Finley shoots it in deep. Borgiel stops it in behind the net. Boucher rings it around. Miller knocked it down. Rather, it's Badal. Far side corner, but all up towards the half boards and towards the blue line. Midpoint, Pennington. Pennington holds, but all far side one-timer stopped by Borgiel. Chance to clear for Cowichan. Boucher got tied up, and then Badal keeps it in. Abgral in the far corner, battles again with Boucher. McKay rings it around towards the near side for Finley. Finley near side of the half board, side of the goal for McKay. Return feed for Finley. Finley still with it. Walks towards the faceoff circle. Abgral shoots it, didn't get through and went wide of the net. Micro Giannakis knocked McKay off the puck. Now back of the goal, they continue to battle. Abgral digs it free. Side of the goal in front, bouncing puck. Gauthier trying to clear, and he'll flip it high in the air and down the ice. Cote chasing after it, forcing Kral to play it away. And Badal has it far side out of his own zone. Up the boards, here's Ethan Schmunk. takes a hit from Cote, and it's offside at the Cowichan blue line with 41 seconds left in the penalty against Shorney and 4:51 left in the second period. Since Cowichan tied the game, it's been pretty much all Powell River, bouncing back especially well after the shift after they gave up the tying goal, and they've got the last 2 games power plays. Far side face-off, McIntyre against Schmunk just outside of the Cowichan zone. And it's won by the Capitals, and Ferguson will shoot it all the way down the ice. Kral couldn't handle it as Long picks it up in the near corner. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Moran looking through the middle. Here's Brett Rollison, 3-on-2 come the Kings. Near side Glazeman doesn't shoot it. Circles back near point for Long. Across the ice for Moran. Back in the middle. Long one-timer, and it went well over top of the net. And Ferguson with an opportunity to clear, couldn't get it out. Moran knocked it down to the far point, and now Glazeman has it back. Walking into the middle, here's Levi Glazeman. He shoots and he put it well wide. Ferguson on the far side shoots it right through the middle and all the way down the ice, and that'll do it for the Kings power play as Chorney steps back onto the ice, and we're back to 5-on-5 with 4:05 remaining here in the second period. Long with the saucer feed through the middle. Krogfoss picks it up in stride. Far side, he shoots a blocker save. Rebound, but all in front, got tied up by Mike Giannakis. But all far side, watched again by Mike Giannakis, got poke checked and knocked off his skates up the far boards. Here's Wilson. Hand off for Krasa. Cowichan attacks with speed. Krasa over the line, drops it. Boucher shoots in a midsection save from Kral, and no rebound with 3:39 left in the second period. Cowichan with just 6 shots on goal here in the middle period in comparison to 14 for the Kings. It's 25-14 overall in the game. But Austin Chorney with his second of the playoffs. It came 4:27 into this second period, ties the game at 1. Face-off will be on the near side of the ice in the Kings zone. Krasa against Krogfoss. They tie up on it. Pennington up the far side towards Miller. Return feed for Pennington in between the dots in behind his own net. Up the near side boards, Foe couldn't get a stick on it, and as they go back, it is an icing call against the Kings. Miller trying to win the race, but Barrett had the inside track towards the near corner. Laying out there with Krasa and Wilson. Krogfoss takes the draw once again for the Kings. He's out there with Foe and Miller. Tie up on the draw and a good win from Krogfoss. Back of the goal, Pennington works his way out towards the far side. Back to the near side for Krogfoss over the Cowichan blue line. Krogfoss into the near corner, flipped it in front, and it's covered up by Borgil as he dropped the original centering pass with his glove and then picked it up with the blocker hand just to the side of the goal. Late stages here, second period, 3:13 remains in it. Coming up in the second intermission, it's another Capitals player profile. We'll be looking at Luke Wilson, brought to you by Ram Appliance Services. McIntyre against Schmunk on the faceoff. And it's won back by the Kings. Glazeman steps in on the near side, takes over. He's poked by Ferguson, and now Cowichan turns it up the ice. It's Primo Self. Self in over the Kings blue line, got poke checked. Brooks into the middle, and the pass towards Ferguson. He just couldn't get there in time, and then it went under his blade. He would have been offside anyways. Caps dump it back in. Chasing after it is Brooks with Schmunk. They engage at the back of the goal. Dug free, McIntyre, far point Ferguson, mid-point Chorney. He opens, he shoots, and a glove save by Kral. Good job there by Chorney, opening up, getting around the shot block of Glazeman, and then firing a low shot in through and forcing Kral to make a save through traffic. Another near side face-off coming up with 2:42 remaining in the second period. Rollison out there with Abgral and Miller for the Kings. McIntyre, Self, and Brooks the unit for Cowichan. Caps win the draw. Brooks in front trying to get a stick. Free stop. Another opportunity stopped by Kral. Self back of the goal. Spins it down low for Brooks on the cycle. Brooks back up the far side boards. Hands it off for Primo Self. Self far side up top, moves in, he shoots, and he got blocked by Miller. Kings come the other way, 3-on-2. Near side, it's Brett Rollison, and they're offside at the Powell River line as Abgrall in the middle just couldn't hold off long enough. The pass went in behind him to Rollison on the near side. Game tied at 1. Abgrall scoring in the first. Chorney here in the second for Cowichan as Abgrall just couldn't hold off long enough on that play at the Cowichan blue line when the Kings looked like they had numbers in a 3-on-2 chance. Far side Boucher, back towards the near side. It went off the stick of Cote. Broadhurst throws it across the ice for Gauthier, and it's dumped into the near corner of the Kings zone. Cote pinned against the boards. Broadhurst able to escape. Now Rollison all over him, hands it off for Gauthier. Gauthier up the near side boards, trying to spin away, lost the handle, and the Kings play it out on the far side for Long. Here's Jack Long, and it's way offside, but they let it go as the skate was dragged, must have been in the middle. Linesman emphatic about the no offside call. On the near side boards, Long looking back through the middle, pass was broken up, it ends up on the tape of Broadhurst, flipping through the middle. Gauthier trying to one-hand it forward, it lands in the feet of Cote, but McKay took it away from him. Here's Dawson McKay back into the Cowichan zone, pokes it in back of the goal, Boucher all over him. Boucher, far side corner, ties him up, but all collects the puck. But all spinning at the far side, finds some room, moves in and shoots, and it was blocked in front by Boucher. Pennington, and a great block by Broadhurst that really took a bite out of him. Now Pennington again from the point, opens up and shoots. That didn't get through either. Loose to the side, Micro Giannakis plays it towards the near boards. Broadhurst trying to clear, couldn't get it past Pennington. Micro Giannakis lifts it down the ice. Kern takes over, Cowichan trying to change. Kings pushing the other way with numbers. Far side, it's Badal. Drop feed for Kern, he opens, he shoots, it's up. Rebound near side, and it's broken up by Micro Giannakis. Cowichan throws it up the near side boards. Moran can't touch it. He had to wait for his man to get off the ice. Now Krogfoss a drive, sticked away by Borgil. 40 seconds remain here, second period. Lynn just shy of center, will skate over the red line, far side for Wilson. In the middle, here's Micro Giannakis, cuts towards the goal, he got poke checked. Krasa looking far side. Walks down the boards, plays it in back of the goal. Pennington first onto it, takes a shoulder from Lynn. Krasa there as well as they look to dig it free back of the net. Kern tying up with Krasa, escapes along the far side, but he couldn't get it past Wilson. Now Schmunk with 15 seconds remaining in the second. Works it up the near side boards towards Glazeman. Steered it forward, and it's broken up by Cowichan. Schmunk ties up with Lynn. Lynn steers it towards the line and just out, and now not out again. Here's Schmunk, near side Glazeman shoots, and it's well over top of the net, and that'll do it for the second period. Cowichan ties the game, but the Kings completely dominate the period after that. But Cowichan will take it, a 1-1 score going to the third period after Austin Chorney's second goal of the playoffs at 4:27 of the second period has us even heading towards the third. It was Michael Abgrall that scored in the first period for the Kings, and we are all square headed to the final 20. Welcome back inside Hap Parker Arena in Powell River. I'm Justice Doucette. Capitals and Kings tied at 1. Going to the final 20 minutes. It was Michael Abgrall scoring just as the power play expired in the first period for the Kings. Cowichan getting an even strength goal from Austin Chorney early on in the second period. Puck is down for the third. Caps wearing the road reds with blue and white trim, attacking from right to left in your radio dial. Kings in the home whites with green, yellow, and black from left to right. Cowichan has it in the near corner of the Kings zone. Cote spins off a check into the far corner. Broadhurst couldn't handle it. Glazeman takes over for the Kings. Spins away from the hit from Broadhurst, now moves it up the far side and flips it back into the Cowichan zone. Boucher got it to the line, but Long kept it in. Jack Long with a shot, blocked by Boucher. Back of the goal now for Rowan Miller. Miller up the far side, boards towards the point, tried to shoot, but he got tied up at the last moment by Broadhurst. Cowichan gets a couple of fresh legs on the ice, and Davis Pennington hands it off on the far side. Glazeman stepped on the puck, and then Giannakis pushed it out to center. Forces Long all the way back into his own zone, being hooked at by Primo Self, who went crashing into the boards. Glazeman will shoot it in deep and start a change himself. Borgiel back in the net, hands it off for Chorney, who didn't see the forecheck coming, and it almost got poked away by Brett Rollison. Brooks across the ice for McIntyre, knocked it down and shoots it in from center. Crawl out of his goal to play it. Rings it up the far side boards, knocked down by McIntyre. It ends up right towards Rollison. Ferguson keeps it in at the midpoint. Slaps it back into the near corner for Ian Kern, up the wall for Moran. Steers it towards the blue line. McIntyre keeps it alive. They now battle just inside the blue line before the Kings shovel it out to center. Self going back to the Cowichan bench after maybe taking a stick up high. In behind the net it is Austin Chorney. Towards the near side for Cullen Ferguson. Ferguson through the middle for Lynn, avoids one check and steers it into the Kings zone. Looking to chase it down, crawl out of the net, fanned on his ring around, but it actually worked out pretty well for the Kings as it landed right to Davis Pennington, who made a play. But then the Kings turn it over. Here comes Cowichan 2-on-2. Lynn across the ice. It's batted away from Wilson, who steers it towards the middle for Krasa. He shot it, but it fanned on it. Far side point now for Barrett. Walks down the boards and shoots. It's blocked. Wilson now with an opportunity. Lost it in his skates. Trying to circle away. Took it away from Badal, but the Kings take it right back. Could be a 3-on-2. Here's McKay near side into the Cowichan zone. His long shot goes off the stick of Clark Webster and up and out of play. Wilson with a good chance to step into a shot there, but he just got a little bit fancy with it and then lost the puck in his skates. Cowichan with just 8 shots in the first, 8 more in the second. Powell River 11 in the first, 18 in the second for a total at this point of 29. After it was the Capitals that heavily outshot the Kings in last night's game. Cote will take the face-off against Schmunk. Cowichan needs one more guy on the ice. Cole Broadhurst will jump over the boards. Near side face-off in the Cowichan zone. Schmunk wins it back clean. Near point Long opens up and shoots. It's blocked by Gauthier. He's got a chance to break in. Here's Olivier Gauthier. He shoots in a midsection save from Kral, and then Garrett and Gauthier collide hard going into the end boards. Big time save there by Kral as Gauthier blocked the shot and then tried to work his way in on the near side. Looked to go 5-hole on the Kings netminder, but Kral made a big save and then covered the rebound as well. Gauthier might have had a little bit more time than he thought, maybe 1 or 2 more strides, but he was getting closed on quickly from the far point by PJ Garrett. Now Broadhurst battles with Garrett in the near corner. Dug free by Schmunk. His ring around hit Cote and bounced right back to him. Through the middle, the pass hits the skate of Long. Giannakis shoots. That was blocked by Long in front of the goal. Cote towards the far corner. It was out of the reach of Gauthier. Near corner, Garrett takes a hard hit from Broadhurst. They battle along the near side boards. Garrett up the boards. It's out of the reach of Miller. Icing is waved off as Boucher goes back, and the Kings work through a change. Boucher slides it far corner for Giannakis. Up the far boards, Lynn tips it in. It ends up in the far corner of the Kings zone. Kral continues the ring around near side. Kern looking through the middle. It's cut off by Lynn. He opens, he shoots, and it's a blocker save by Kral. Krasa near side, back to the point for Ferguson. Down low in the near corner for Lundy. Lundy trying to work his way towards the middle. Now cycles it for Krasa. Krasa into the middle, trying to find a shooting lane, drops it off at the point for Chorney. He'll let it go, it's just wide of the goal. Lundy back in there, trying to center, it's broken up by Rollison. Far side Lundy, back up the boards, Lynn, back to the point for Chorney. Opens up, fakes, now winds, fires a toe save by Kral, and a hard shot right along the ice. But all near side towards center, steers it in, and the Kings need a change as Chorney picks it up in behind the Cowichan goal. Up the far side boards, Lynn chips it in. Brooks wins the race to it in the far corner, steers it towards the net. It's fought off by Kral. Brooks is all by himself. Finley digs it free up the far side. Foe pass hits the skate of Self, and it's back into the Cowichan zone. Near side, Clark Webster on the regroup across the ice for Primo. Self had a hat trick in game 2. Near side corner, Brooks battling McIntyre, fired it off the side of the goal. Finley towards the far side, boards for Foe. Foe works his way out towards center. His dump in is knocked down by Barrett, then McIntyre took it away from Foe. Brooks back into the middle for McIntyre, 1-on-4. He tried to dump it in but lost the handle, and now Long takes over for the Kings. Long up the near side, boards for Moran at center. Dumps it back towards the near side. Foe sticks it in. Here's Rowan Miller, 1-on-2. Trying to play it in behind the net. Knocked off the puck by Barrett. And McIntyre fires it up the far side for Self. Notices he's by himself and shoots it in deep. A little less than 5 minutes gone here in the third period. Game tied at 1 in game 4 of the Island Division semifinals. Garrett up the far side, boards, put it out of the reach of everybody. Now Mike Giannakis fires it down the ice. Icing is waved off. Broadhurst, the first one to it in the far corner. He's wrapped up by Kern. Miller in there, as is Cote, trying to both dig it free. Being held up against the boards, still trying to dig it free. Broadhurst looking to touch it out into the middle. He's got it trapped in his skates. Now work towards the far side. Broadhurst being tied up still by Kern. Cote has it in his skates, spins away from Garrett. Up the half boards, Gauthier. Spinning away from Miller, here's Olivier Gauthier. Spins and centers, it's tipped just wide in front. Cote now trying to center, put it off the side of the goal. It's collected by Glazeman. Glazeman far side, tied up by Gauthier, went crashing hard into the boards. Cowichan digs it free. Far side, Kern wrapping up with his man. Gauthier trying to steer it back to the point. Glazeman onto it. Played up the far boards. Lynn tried to one-time it. It bounced off his skate. Then Lynn fights off the hit from Glazeman. Lynn around the back of the goal towards the near side corner. Still with it as he walks up top, drops it down for Boucher. Boucher centers and nobody home in front of the goal. Now Mike Giannakis, side of the goal for Wilson. Great shift here for the Caps. Wilson into the middle, opens up, he shoots, and he put it just wide on the blocker hand side. Schmunk trying to clear, got it to the line but not out. Boucher shoots, that was blocked by Garrett. Back of the goal, it's Brady Lynn. Handoff for Krasa. Kings are gassed out there as Krasa is trying to sidestep Miller. Shoots and he put it through the crease. Boucher one-timer off a stick and it just went off the side of the goal and just wide as Glazeman fires it towards center. Knocked down by Boucher. Back in the middle for Wilson who dumps it back in. The Caps will forecheck again. Krasa far side. Shoots, scores! Krasa sneaks it under the blocker of Kroll as he tried to scramble back into the net. And Krasa's third of the playoffs gives the Capitals the lead with 13 and change to go in the third. Great job by Cowichan there. They had it locked in the offensive zone. Wilson forced the issue, sent it back in deep. The Kings were trying to change. Kroll couldn't stop it at the back of the goal. And Krasa beats him under the arm to make it 2-1 Cowichan. Third of the playoffs for Krasa. It comes at 6:37, and the Capitals have their first lead. A great shift prior to that, and Cowichan rolled through a couple of lines to continue to pressure, and now they have the lead. Brooks in the near corner, hard hit on Jack Long as it swung up the wall. Kings looking to work it to center. McKay chips it past Ferguson, and then it hit Wang on the Cowichan bench, and the draw is coming back towards the Powell River side of center. Krasa with his third of the playoffs at 6:37. We'll check and see if they added any assists on that. At this point, Reed's unassisted as McIntyre's tripped up at center, but play is going to continue. Self dumps it into the near corner. Long spinning away from Brooks on the forecheck, far side for Abgral. McIntyre and Self forechecking. Brooks taps it back to the point, and it's thrown towards the goal by Chorney and stopped by Kroll. Now Brooks a chance, and he fired it over top of the goal. Ferguson keeps it in at the near point. McIntyre back of the goal, trying to spin away from Finley. Here's Primo Self, sharp angle, midsection save by Kroll. He'll stop play. 12:34 remains in the third. Kings have yet to get a shot on goal here in the third period. Cowichan has 6 of them. Matt Krasa with the latest goal. It comes at 6:37. Luke Wilson given an assist, so if he's given one, Boucher will get one as well, whether it's added now or after the game. Caps win the draw. Webster opens. He shoots it. Hit Broadhurst in front of the goal. Puck's loose in the slot. Cote's backhand was blocked. Pennington back of the goal for the Kings to the near side for Kern. Kern through the middle. Broadhurst poke checked it away from him. Barrett lifts it back towards Broadhurst, who steers it into the Kings zone on the far side and dumps it in. Kern back of the net takes a hard hit from Cote, tipped towards the line. Webster pinches to keep it alive. He'll play it down low, but all cut it off. Now ring around far side for Pennington. Davis Pennington softly up the far boards, knocked down by Olivier Gauthier. Spins off a check, Gauthier turns and shoots, and he put it over top of the net. Moran near side with the opportunity to clear, takes a hit from Cote, and Webster keeps it in. Dumped into the far corner of the Kings zone while Cowichan changes. Kern up the far side, boards, hard hit from Cote. He's had a couple of solid checks in this shift in third period. An opportunity there for the Rods Auto Glass and Upholstery's hit of the game from Cruz Cote. Behind the net, it's Pennington. Rung towards the near side, out of the reach of Kern. He tracks it down, moves it up the near side boards where it's tipped in by Porchetta. Barrett retreats in behind his own net, being tied up by Ethan Schmunk. Fanned on the pass up the far board, Self chips it into the middle, looking for Lundy. It was cut off momentarily by Glazeman, then Barrett dumps it in, but he fans on it. Jack Long in his own zone, back up the near side boards. Micro Giannakis onto the ice. Far side for Boucher in the Cowichan zone. Looking through the middle for Lundy. His dump in was fanned on. Self through the middle. Micro Giannakis had it go into his skate and he turned it over. Here comes Ethan Schmunk over the line. He shoots, it's blocked, gets it back and fanned on the opportunity. Schmunk up the near side boards, trying to deposit back down low. McIntyre rings it towards the far side with 10:45 to go in the third, and Cowichan leading 2-1. Micro Giannakis over the Powell River blue line, trying to take it wide around the back of the goal, and Garrett stayed right with him. Near side, Lundy splits a couple of checks, got tripped up, but play's going to continue. Glazeman over center, and it's on side of the line. Cowichan wanted to whistle. Glazeman shoots, and it's caught and held by Borgil. Cowichan's gotten screwed over a couple of times in this series on offside calls, but most prominently it was the goal from Michael Abgral in Game 3 last night to make it 2-0. Far side face-off coming up in the Cowichan zone. That was the first shot of the period for the Kings. They're now at 30 for the game. Krasa waved out of the circle. Lynn will come in to take it against Rollison. Rollison wins it back clean. Finley from the line, shot and a tip and a skate save from Borgil. Looking through the middle, here's Matt Krasa to dump it in deep. Lynn forechecking, gets to it ahead of Finley, but he left the puck behind, and Krasa takes over in the far corner. Krasa kicks it down the boards for Wilson, now pinned by Pennington. Rollison there, as is Krasa. Krasa pulls it out of the pile, lost it. Lynn spins and fires, and it was off the helmet of Kral, who stayed on his feet and made the header save. Lynn trying to tip it back into the middle. It's broken up. Here come the Kings 3-on-2. Pennington, Abgral, Miller opens up. He can't shoot. Now centers. It's fought off by Borgil, and Wilson rings around. It hits the glass, then the netting. Cowichan will be able to change, and they'll get a break here with the in-arena timeout and 9:45 remaining in the third. Caps leading 2-1. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on 89.7 Juice FM, presented by Discovery Honda. Welcome back inside Hap Parker Arena. 9:45 to go in the third. Cowichan leading 2-1. Matt Krasa scoring a couple of minutes ago here in the third period, his third goal of the series. Broadhurst forechecking, almost forced a turnover, then he lost his footing himself. Cote drops it back to the near side. Webster will shoot it in as there's some wrestling between Broadhurst and Long. The linesman trying to split them up just in front of the Powell River bench. Far side, it's tipped back into the Cowichan zone. Nolan Barrett going back for it. Works his way near side towards the top circle. Fires it across the ice for Broadhurst. He'll lift it high in the air and back into the far corner of the Powell River zone and peel away to change. 9 minutes remain here, third period. Pennington out of his own zone, stops up, looking back through the middle. Stretch feed for Krogfoss to tip it into the Cowichan end. Barrett far side, being pressured by Krogfoss, steered it up the boards. Brooks spins back into his own zone across the ice for Webster. Webster up towards center for Self, who plays it in. Kral leaves it at the side of the goal, and then Brooks almost took it away, so Kral had to shovel it to the corner at the last second. 8:40 remains in the third. Battle in the far corner of the Kings zone. McIntyre watching from distance. It comes to Kern, who ties up now with McIntyre in behind the net. Rung up the far side for Brett Foe. He's hit hard by Self. Far point, Mike Gianakis shoots, and he put it off the side of the goal. Kral may have gotten a piece of it. Far side now for Foe into the middle. Here come the Kings, 3-on-3. Moran, he's got Schmunk and Foe with him. Centering pass ends up in the skates of Schmunk, and it's played out to center by Cowichan. Jack Long circles back at center, waiting for his teammates to tag up. Now finds center and shoots it in. Glove down by Borgil and drop for Mike Gianakis to keep play moving. Near side, it's Boucher. Up the boards towards center. Lynn will dump it in. Krasa forechecking in behind the net. First to it is Long, trying to poke it away from Krasa, who lost his stick. Gets it back as they continue to battle in behind the net. Wilson ties up. Abgral pulls it free. Miller near side, stripped by Krasa. Lynn across the ice. Mike Gianakis shoots, and a stick save by Kral. Lynn across the ice again for Mike Gianakis. Not able to keep it in, but he kept it away from Glazman and slapped it back in deep with 7:30 to go in the third, and Cowichan leading 2-1. Stretch feed through the middle. Abgral tips it back into the Cowichan zone. Austin Shorney going back for it. Rings it up the far side boards for Wilson. Wilson takes off, gets towards center, stops up, and then dumps it in off the stick of Kern back into the near corner of the Kings zone. Kern far side for Garrett. Long feed forward, bounced away from Glazman. Shorney hit hard by Porchetta. Battles just shy of center. Fights off Glazman and dumps it in. Great battle there from Austin Shorney to get the puck in deep. Ian Kern circles in his own zone, just about lost it. Now banks it in behind the net for his partner in Garrett. Garrett watched by Gauthier, stick lifted from behind by Gauthier, and Gauthier just couldn't get free as Garrett took it back and moved it up the far side boards. Glazman's dump in, broken up, and Ferguson with a hard hit on Porchetta. Dumped back in by Glazman with 6:30 remaining in the third. Borgil leaves it for Chorney, who scored in the second period, his second of the playoffs. Watched it in front of the goal by Porchetta. Banked towards the near side. Ferguson had troubles with it, but all near side, dumps it back in deep. Broadhurst rings it around hard, far side. Pennington keeps it in. Far side into the corner for Rollison. Trying to get away from Chorney into the near corner. Rollison still with it. Dumps it back into the corner for Hewlett off the bench. Hewlett centers, it's broken up. Moran one-timer, he put it wide right along the ice. Gauthier with a chance to clear, lifts it up the boards. Cote cuts back towards the middle, looking to find center. He gets to the red line and then dumps it in deep. Near side, Hewlett up the boards. Moran tips it towards the line, knocked down by Self, who fired off a stick and wide. Batted in the air by the Kings and touched up by Badal. It was knocked down with a high stick. The faceoff will remain in the Powell River zone with now 5:43 remaining in the third period. Powell River with 2 shots here in the third period to Cowichan's 9. It's now 31-25 for the game. Brooks, McIntyre, and Self the unit for Cowichan. Moran, Krogfoss, and McKay for the Kings. Far side draw in the Powell River zone. McIntyre is going to be waved out of it, but Krogfoss jabbed first. The face-off linesman let it go, but the back linesman at neutral ice saw Brooks step in early and waves him out. So it's now Self on the draw against Krogfoss, and Self wins it back. Brooks steers it off a stick wide of the goal. Battles in behind the net. Finley able to avoid a check. Up the near side for McKay. Through the middle, here's Moran. Moran poke check by Webster, but he maintains possession, and Krogfoss shoots it in deep. First to it, back of the goal, Moran steamrolled by McIntyre, back of the net. Hard hit there by Dan McIntyre as Self lifts it out to center. Krogfoss shoots it back in. Borgiel leaves it in the back of the net for Barrett. Near side for Clark Webster. Webster slaps it up the near side boards, but Brooks tipped it up in the air and up and into the netting and out of play. So a face-off coming just in front of the Cowichan bench with 5:09 remaining in the third period. Hard check there by Dan McIntyre on Riley Moran back in the goal. That's going to be our Rods Auto Glass and Upholstery hit of the game. Face-off just in front of us, in front of the Cowichan bench. Kings will slap it in. Borgiel leaves it to the back of the goal, rung around near side, played towards the blue line by Wilson, and it's out to Lynn, just out of his reach, but not enough for icing. Garrett in front of his own net towards the far side, plays it hard off the glass, and this is going to be an icing call against the Kings with 4:51 remaining in the third period. Face-off will be on the far side of the ice in the Kings zone. Krasa out there with Lynn and Wilson against the unit of Schmunk, Miller, and Foe. Off the face-off, it's a scramble, ends up in the far corner. Foe rings it in behind the net for Pennington. He'll shoot it hard off the glass near side. Miller at center will dump it in. Giannakis back of the net, fires it up the far side, and unable to get a stick on it was Brady Lynn. So it's an icing call against Cowichan with 4:33 left in the third period, as Giannakis took a good hit there from Foe when he moved it up the ice. Abgral, Badal, and Rulison, the unit for the Kings. Krasa, Lynn, and Wilson out there for Cowichan. Both teams do still have their timeout as they face off on the far side of the Cowichan zone. Kings won the draw, but nobody picked up the puck, and so Lynn will flip it down the ice, and Cowichan will work through a change. Jack Long in behind his own net, watched by Brady Lynn. Dump to the far side for Finley with 4:15 left in the third, and Cowichan leading 2-1. Tip towards center, Rollison got tied up. Abgral skates it into the Cowichan zone. Drop feed, Badal shoots in a midsection, save by Borgiel. He'll hang on to it, 4:07 left in the third. So the far side face-off coming up. Glazman, Moran, and Schmunk come over the boards for the Kings against Cote, Gauthier, and Broadhurst for Cowichan. Cote to take the draw on the far side of the ice against Ethan Schmunk. And Cote wins it back. Ferguson hammers it around the near side. It hits a stanchion in front, and then Cote skates it to safety. Nobody knew where that one had ended up as Cowichan works over the line, and then Cote's shot goes off the stick of Curran and out of play. Ferguson hammered it around, and here in Powell River, the Zamboni comes out of the what is right now the near side corner of the Cowichan zone. So the ring around would have hit a bump over there, and it bounced right back in front of the net, but luckily for Cowichan, nobody was prepared for it, not even Powell River, and Cote was able to skate it to safety. Face off the near side of the Kings zone. 3:56 remains in the third. Far side, Pennington collects for Powell River. Works it towards center. Here's Riley Moran with some speed into the Cowichan zone. He opens and he shoots, and a glove saved by Borgiel, who looks like he may have had it bounce off his midsection and into his catching glove, but no rebound either way. .345 remains in the third. Capitals leading 2-1. Still the unit of Glazman, Moran, and Schmunk, which we're going to see a lot of late in this hockey game. McIntyre out there to take the draw. He's got Primo Self and Zach Brooks up front with him. And now Schmunk is going to be waved out of the draw. Glazman will come in and take it. Tie up on the draw. It comes free for Boucher. Up the near side boards. Brooks flips it across the ice. Self chips it past Finley and got tied up a little bit, but play will continue. 3:30 remains in the third. Flipped up the far side boards. Here's Levi Glazman. Near side looking for Riley Moran. Moran steps in. He shoots, and it goes off the goal over top of the net and then bounced back in front. Glazman took it in behind the net. Moran cycles for Glazman, watched by Giannakis. Giannakis staples him to the wall as McIntyre lifts it up towards neutral ice. Brooks will shoot it the rest of the way with 3:10 to go in the third, and both teams change. Finley in behind the net. Up the far side boards, Corchetta steps in over the Cowichan blue line. Corchetta shoots, it's blocked by Webster. Back of the goal, Krogfoss tied up by Cote. He lost his footing, then Cote got tripped up. Corchetta near side, Miller sharp angle, he put it off a skate and wide. Broadhurst first to it, lifts it high in the air towards center. Gauthier skates into it, trying to cut away from Long. They both go crashing into the far side boards. Gauthier put it off the side of the goal, and now Kral's going to cover with 2:39 left in the third period. Face-off will be on the far side of the ice in the Kings zone. Cowichan goes with McIntyre, Lynn, and Brooks. But all Abgral and Rulison, the unit for the Kings. Face-off on the far side of the ice. Cowichan leading 2-1. Tie up on the draw. Lynn spins and shoots, and a toe save by Kral right off the face-off. But all circles in front of his own net, gains some speed, watched by Brooks. Pass to the near side for Rulison, poked away from him by McIntyre, but it's right to Garrett. Garrett steps in over the Cowichan line. He shoots, and a shoulder save by Borkiel. Garrett around the back of the goal, tried to wrap it around, and he just lost it off the toe of his stick. 2:15 remains in the third. Kings pressuring here in the Cowichan zone. Brooks tied up against the boards. It's flipped down the ice, and this is going to be an icing call against Cowichan with 2:09 left in the third. Caps won't be able to change. We'll keep an eye on Derek Kral. They go back to Schmunk, Glazeman, and Moran. Face-off coming up on the near side of the ice. McIntyre will take the draw against Schmunk. Kral remains in the net with 2:09 left, and now we are going to get a timeout. Powell River will keep it right here with just over 2 minutes remaining in the third. Matt Krasa has Cowichan in front with his third goal of the series. It came at 6:37 of this third period as Cowichan pressured for about 2 minutes inside the Powell River zone. The Kings got it to center. Wilson fired it right back in. Kral couldn't stop the ring around, and he also couldn't get back to his net in time before it was put in by Krasa from the far side half wall, sneaking it under the blocker arm of Kral. Austin Shorney scored in the second for the Caps. Michael Abgral scored in the first for the Kings. Kral is going to step onto the bench, and the Kings will go 6-on-5 with 2:09 left in the third period. It's Pennington, Schmunk, Glazeman, Moran, Long, and Rulison with the net empty. McIntyre, Brooks, Lynn, Webster, and Ferguson for Cowichan as they face off to the near side of the Cowichan zone. Borgiel taking his time getting back to his net. Draw to the near side of the ice. Schmunk against McIntyre. Draws one by the Kings, but Cowichan steps in. Brooks shoots it all the way down the ice, and the whistle was blown quite early there. Maybe another second or two could have run off the clock, but Mike Vandekamp nodding to Brooks like smart play, good job. 2:04 left in the third. Cowichan wins the draw. Ferguson pinned to the near side corner boards. Schmunk digs it free for Powell River. McIntyre battling. They still battle along the near side half boards, and it's played out to center by Cowichan. Long, far side for Rulison. 1:45 left in the third. Schmunk dumps it in. Far side, Micro Giannakis first to it. Rings it off the glass, and it gets to the line but not out. Long overskated it. Lifted forward by Cowichan. It goes wide of the net. Brooks will win the race to it in the far corner. He'll take his time, work it around the back of the goal. There's a penalty coming up, and it is against, I believe, Powell River, and Ethan Schmunk is going to go off with 1:29 left in the third. And Cowichan's going to go to the power play as Schmunk sent Lynn into the empty net and knocked it off its moorings. I know that if it's a breakaway and a team takes a penalty, the empty net goal is automatically called, but with Brooks in behind the net, that's not the case, and Cowichan will go a man up with 1:29 left in the third. But of course, as soon as Powell River gets the opportunity, they're going to pull their goalie and play 5-on-5. Cowichan goes with Cote, Gauthier, Broadhurst, Boucher, and Mike Giannakis with 89 seconds to go. Ends up in the near corner. Long lost his helmet. He shoves Broadhurst. They still battle near side. Long has to go off the ice. Gauthier will take it in behind the net. He's stapled by Kern near side half boards. The Kings had Abgral standing at center ice, and Cowichan didn't notice. Now Giannakis stopped, and Gauthier just put the rebound wide as it's fired down the ice by the Kings. Boucher picks it up just in front of his own bench, fires it across the ice. Giannakis into the final minute. Abgral again floating at neutral ice. Gauthier picks it up, skates it back to neutral ice, drops it back for Boucher. He'll retreat in behind his own net. Crawl remains in the Powell River net. 5-on-4 Cowichan as Boucher moves it up the far side for Mike Giannakis. Far side for Lynn. Lynn moves in far side. He shoots in a great block by Kern. Far side they battle again. Glazeman trying to shove it out. Knocked down by Cote. Steered back in deep with 35 seconds to go. Shot down the ice by the Kings. Knocked down by Lynn as he batted it out of midair. And then he kept himself on side. Lynn far side plays it back to the near side for Boucher with 20 seconds left. He retreats in behind his own net. Boucher now skates around the front of his net, back in behind it, and flips it back out towards center. 10 seconds left. Mike Giannakis moving it forward. Long ties up with him. Brooks far side steers it towards Lynn, back to center. Mike Giannakis sends it in deep. And on Friday night on home ice, the Caps will have a chance to close out the series. Matt Krasa scores the only goal in the third, and Cowichan is one win away after a 2-1 win on the road in Powell River. 33 saves from Zach Borgil. Austin Chorney scores in the second. Krasa scores in the third, and the Capitals lead the series 3-1. What a bounce back effort from this team. They give up a goal just as a power play expires in the first, and they answer back, getting goals from unlikely sources. In the second, Austin Chorney, his second of the playoffs, and an absolutely beautiful goal for him. And then Krasa scores in the third as the ring around got past Crawl in behind the net, and he couldn't get back into the net and set in time. And Krasa, who led the Capitals with 25 goals during the regular season, scores his third of the playoffs, and the Capitals win it 2-1. We'll take a break. Post-game show is next. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on 89.7 Juice FM, presented by Discovery Honda.